Hi, welcome to the Celebrity Gossip channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about ChloeBailey and Chris Brown's new song, How Does It Feel? I'm going to give you my review on it. And then I will also be talking about DojaCat going on a rant on Instagram Live. Right, so obviously as you know, last week ChloeBailey and Chris Brown did announce their collaboration. And when they first announced the collaboration, it was met with a lot of controversy because some people, still have not gotten over what Chris Brown did to Rihanna back in 2009. So every now and then they love to bring it up every time he works with a black woman. And they tried to do that against Chloe, and a lot of her fans or people who listen to her music were very upset at her for working with him. And now that she's put out the song, no one's ranting anymore. But here's my thing, right? I'm not gonna sit there and justify what Chris Brown did to Rihanna. I think he was wrong, just like everyone else. However, I don't think it's completely fair to keep bringing it up, every time he works with a black woman, when at the end of the day, the GP is not the victim, okay? Rihanna was the victim. And if she was the victim and she forgave him, it doesn't really make any sense why other people keep bringing it up, It just doesn't really make any sense when they were the ones that were abused. Rihanna was, and she forgave him. So I just don't get the point of people constantly bringing it up. And I am aware, Chloe&ChrisBrown, whatever her name is, accused him of allegedly pushing her down the stairs, and that he's also been, accused of kicking dark-skinned women out of clubs because they're quote-unquote too dark, and it's called dark-skinned women uglies. So I am very aware that he's said some nasty stuff. So if they wanted to drag him for saying those things, fair enough. But it's so interesting how they never talk about that stuff, but only talk about the Rihanna situation when all of that other stuff is more recent. So yeah, had they dragged him for him being colorist and stuff like that, fair to understand, right? Because technically he still hasn't apologized for what he said about dark-skinned black women. So I would understand that, right? But they're not even talking about that. They're talking about a situation that happened back in 2009 that the victim forgave him for. So I don't really understand the point of that. So after that happened, there was this zealous singer called Keely Williams who used to be in the band 3LW, and she ended up having so much to say on Twitter. And after she said this on Twitter, Chris Brown called her out. So a lot of people decided to call out Keely for her hypocrisy because she made this tweet basically, showing that she was interested in the whole Blueface and Chrisean, reality TV drama, even though she was just criticizing Chris Brown for having a pastor putting DV on women, but yet she's out here praising Chrisean and Blueface, who are obviously known to beat each other, So obviously people were calling out Keely for her hypocrisy here. And then she tried to double down after Chris Brown had obviously, dragged her several times. Was like, oh, I got this man tweeting. But obviously I feel like that was the only thing she could say. And to be fair, it is true because it did kind of make Chris Brown look pressed. However, I do feel like she didn't really have a better response because she knew herself that she looked like a hypocrite. And he basically was calling out the double standards, that in the mainstream, how there's a lot of people, who, especially who are white, that have committed or allegedly committed DV crimes, but the media don't highlight that. And not only that, he also highlighted the fact that, ChriseanRock and Blueface have a reality show where they literally beat each other, and bruise each other for entertainment, and people watch that and are amused by that. So obviously Chris Brown called that double standard out, and he was right, to be fair, because I've never really been a fan of Blueface and Chrisean. I don't think it's entertainment. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's normal. So I don't get entertained by people being in domestic situations. I don't get entertained by that. And not only that, yeah, he made a fair point when he was bringing up all these other white entertainers, because they do have histories that don't get talked about by the mainstream, which I've always found interesting, because it's only Chris Brown, but they don't talk about all these other actors. So that was a fair point, which I can't really overlook that. So Chris Brown, he started dragging Keely for filth. He began going on the post that apparently Keely made of her dancing, and he said whack as F, choo choo. And obviously, if you don't know, he was trying to imply that she had a train run on her because she did an interview where she apparently admitted to having having a train run on her by several members of the band B2K.
Did you ever date Raz B from B2K?
Date is a loose word. I think I said entanglement with all of them except for Omari.
Keely, Sid, J-Book, Raz B at the same damn time?
Don't be what type. That's only a what type.
The point being, you know, this is how people felt when the collaboration was first announced. But the collaboration did drop, and I recently heard it, and it has gotten a lot of good reviews. Like I said, once the collaboration dropped, no one was ranting anymore because of how good it was. I am very impressed with the song. I like the hook on the song. I like Chris Brown's verse. I like the vocals. I love the video. The song was very good. I'm not gonna lie. I do think they did a very good job. And I do like the chemistry that they have, because a lot of times when, you know, these female artists work with male artists, they try and force it, and you can tell that it seems forced, aka Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. You know, like they will try and work together, and their chemistry just seems so forced. But with ChloeBailey and Chris Brown, their chemistry seemed genuine, you know, so I do like that. So I would give the song an 8 or 9. It's a good song. It's a really good song, because I've had it on repeat since. So I do think the song has the potential to be a hit. And I did hear that a new song did debut with over 900k streams on its first streaming day, and that is a huge achievement, because Chloe has not had these types of streams since Have Mercy, which was back in 2021, so that was 2 years ago. You know, so I was expecting that the song would do well, because I did think it had the hype and the potential, and I knew that all that controversy that was surrounding it would only put more attention on the song anyway, and clearly it did. So congrats to both of them. And I am hoping it is a hit as well, because I know Chloe's releasing her album next month, so she does technically need a hit for her album. But yeah, so congrats to Chloe and Chris Brown on their new single. But anyway, moving on from that, DojaCat recently decided to go on a rant, and she was basically explaining to her fans that she doesn't like social media, and she hates, you know, the platforms, and wants to go on a hiatus. Take a listen.
I'm not rude, first of all. I just don't like you. I don't like a lot of y'all. And I'm just here to shame, guilt, bully. So I just don't like this establishment. Do I like some of the heat and the fire that comes out of this app? Yes. Do I save TikToks because there is only gold in my algorithm because I have a beautiful algorithm? Yes. I love it. I don't need to be on here every day and go on Instagram and post selfies on social media. This is all this is gonna be the last live for a long 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, who knows? I don't like coming on here because it's always y'all always want to talk, so I'm gonna do it right back at you.
So here's the thing, I like DojaCat, right? But I'm not saying this to be mean. I do get tired of her rants though. You know, she does at times, and I've been one of those people that don't want to say this, but sometimes the way she behaves, it gives me Cardi B Jr. vibes. You know, the way she used to be ranting and still rants every now and then on Twitter or stuff like that over the most stupidest things. DojaCat kind of does the same thing. It just feels like sometimes DojaCat just rants for the most stupidest reasons, you know? If you don't want to be on social media, get off. It's really that simple. You don't need to go rant about it on IG Live. I just don't get the point of that. Then just don't use it. You know, have your PR team run it. That's why I don't understand why these celebrities be complaining about it. Get off the platform. Hire your team to run it for you. You know? I just don't get the point of that. I understand, you know, she's a human being, so there are things that people could say about her that could obviously, you know, make her feel bad, which is true. But I feel like if it's the point where it's obviously making her feel bad, she's exhausted and drained, get off the platform, have your team run it, you know, so you feel sane. You know, that's the only thing I can really recommend to her, because I am a fan of her. She's a bit much for me, I can't lie. I like her music. I think she's very talented, but at times her personality can be a bit of a turn off, because she has to remember when she does those rants to her fans, sometimes it does come across as you're being disrespectful to your fans, okay? And I do think she does need to be careful how she, you know, treats her fans, because I don't think like she's a bad person. I do just think she does struggle, you know, coping with, you know, fame, because she's still new to the mainstream. You know, she's not really been someone who's been famous for a very long time. So I do think she is still struggling to adapt to that. So I do sympathize with her there, but I do think if she's just struggling with it all, she should just have her PR team run her socials, you know, and just take a break, you know. But anyway, that's all in this video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, I did recently upload part 1 of my episode 1 career breakdown series. Part 1 is about Nicki Minaj's rise to fame. I will put a link in the description below if you want to check that out. That would be much appreciated. Also, I will be uploading part 2 to episode 1 very, very soon. I'm currently editing that as we speak. So yeah, let me know what you think about some of the topics discussed in the video. Do you think DojaCat should just take a break from social media and should just go into hiatus? And do you think ChloeBailey and Chris Brown put out a good song? Do you think Chloe was wrong for working with him the way people thought last week? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.